Adam Green here with no more news, reporting from bed because I've got the flu. But I wanted to talk about the Chabad Synagogue shooting that occurred yesterday. The main takeaways from this are we have hero rabbis, we've got the persecuted victim Jews in Chabad, and we've got the white supremacist, the right-wing extremist, terrorists, hate crime, hate speech, anti-Semites. So instead of talking about how Chabad is supremacist, or talking about how Chabad has so much power and influence over Trump, we're talking about how they're the victims, and there's the rabbi is the hero, and how white supremacy is the scourge and the vile anti-Semitism. The left is saying that it's the right's fault. The right and the Zionists are saying that it's the left's fault, and it's the New York Times fault for coming out with this cartoon that accurately depicts Netanyahu leading Trump. It's just factual that that's what's going on. And the fact that they have such outrage over a cartoon that is true shows how weak and pathetic they really are, and how sensitive they are, that you can't even talk about. I mean, just saying that Netanyahu controls Trump, I mean, that's something that you could prove. You can prove it by showing that Netanyahu brags about getting Trump to get out of the Iran deal, or to label Iran as terrorist, or all of the aid and all of Trump's administration going to grovel to AIPAC and CPAC and the Jewish coalition. It's obvious that Trump shills for Israel and shills for Zionism, and is completely obedient and subservient to Netanyahu, with his top advisor Kushner knowing Netanyahu for a long time and being Chabad ultra-Orthodox. So now with this shooting, instead of talking about Chabad being supremacist and saying that their souls are higher than ours and they have more souls and that we're only here to serve them and that kind of stuff, now it's they're the victims, and it's white supremacy is the problem, and anti-Semitism is the problem. That's the takeaway from all this. So if we take it from face value and assume that everything is exactly like the media is reporting it, this kid is an idiot, and senseless acts of violence are completely counterproductive. It would have been much better if he would have gone in there with a camera and just, yelled out a couple talking points, said, you guys are supremacists, we're not going to follow your Noahide laws, or I'm not going to bend the knee to your Moshiach, or something like that with the camera. That would have been great. But instead he goes in and makes him a victim and makes the rabbi a hero, and then gives the media and the ADL and the Zionist and Israel everything that they want. This is what they want. They want stuff like this. So just expect a whole lot more pushes for these anti-Semitism bills. Expect a whole lot more vilification of quote-unquote white supremacy. And the Zionists trying to blame this New York Times cartoon that just accurately depicts the situation. It's just a sad world we're living in right now. The manifesto, exactly 6 months to the day of the synagogue shooting. And I said it after the synagogue shooting. I said, just wait until another attack happens and see what they're going to push through legislation. After the synagogue shooting, I did several videos on it. They unanimously passed a bill in the House to condemn anti-Semitism, and they've already got all of these definitions of anti-Semitism written word for word by some Holocaust group. And that's on our state.gov, the definitions of anti-Semitism. Essentially, you can't criticize them at all. And then now with this attack, they are going to utilize this even more. Stupidest thing anybody could have ever done. Chabad are the supremacist ones. They're the ones that think they're God's chosen people. They're the ones that think that they created the world, and that they should be masters over the creation. I just did a video last week called Chabad and Noahide Laws Exposed, where I show their own websites, Chabad's websites, and videos of the Rebbe from their own translations of their talking about their supremacy and their obsession with rebuilding the temple and impatiently awaiting their Moshiach, their Messiah. And they want the whole world to bend the knee to their Moshiach. and that they're God's chosen people. That's the supremacy. That's where the supremacy is coming from. And now all we're hearing about is white supremacy. So it's sad. I feel like it's only going to get worse. Expect more censorship. And people just really need to realize that violence is not the answer when it comes to stuff like this. Information, sharing information, speaking the truth, using facts, proving people wrong with their own words. That's the way to do it. You think this kid thought that he was helping? He must be retarded if he thought he was helping, because this is just going to create more censorship, more laws, more anti-Semitism hysteria, which is exactly what they want, so they can implement these Noahide laws, so they can start their war with Iran and not let anybody speak out against them. Like this cartoon just depicting that Netanyahu is guiding Trump. They say that's anti-Semitic, it's vile anti-Semitism, it can't exist. And they say anti-Semitism is a virus that won't go away, and it's followed them around the world for thousands of years. Do they not think maybe it's something that they're doing? There's an old Polish proverb, I believe. It says, a Jew will tell you what's been done to him, but won't tell you why. Why were they persecuted for thousands of years all over the world? Is the whole world just hate them because they're Jewish, or could it be something about their religion? Could it be something that they're doing? These are obvious questions. Who benefits from all this? Do quote-unquote white supremacists or anti-Zionists benefit from this? No, clearly not. It's the worst possible thing for people critical of Israel to go out and do this senseless act of violence. Who benefits? Always ask, who benefits? Anyway, I'll have more tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get somebody on for a chat and my brain will be less foggy and sick. I haven't eaten for the last few days, and I've been throwing up. So hopefully we'll get everything back in order, get back into the No More News studio. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, some points I miss, some other things you want me to address, any guests you'd like to see on to talk about this issue in the next few days. And that's all for now, guys. Adam Green, No More News. Like, share, subscribe. Check out nomorenews.org if you want to support independent media. Check out the links in the description below or the donate page on the website. Really frustrating. Really, really, really frustrating when idiots go out and do stuff like this that undermines people that work hard to try to expose real injustice and real supremacy in the world. And all this anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. And we got everybody on Twitter virtue signaling, the left's saying it's the right's fault and right wing. The left is trying to say that it's Trump's fault for this. Trump is anti-Semitic, they say. How backwards are they? We got the most Zionist president ever, arguably. And they're blaming Trump. The most pro-Israel president ever, such close friends with Netanyahu. Jewish family, doing everything for Israel, and then they're going to say it's Trump's fault. Trump caused this. If anything, quote-unquote anti-Semitism is rising because people are waking up to how much Trump is controlled by Chabad and Zionists. So, that's all, guys. Talk to you later. Adam Green, No More News. See you soon.